Good morning, good morning. Let me get my hat. And here we are. Welcome to the Poetry Studio. My name is Joseph. For a second there, I had to think what it was that we were doing here. But no, everything is all good, and we are here. And it is a great morning to be doing poetry, and a great morning to not be sleeping in because your dog threw up overnight, which was what happened yesterday. So yesterday was kind of a bit of a flop, streaming-wise, the whole day. Perfectly okay, because some days you win, some days you lose. In the morning, I didn't stream at all. In the afternoon, I basically spent an hour fiddling with the typewriter and not successfully repairing it. Though I did repair it off stream after the fact, so good news there. Caffeinated? Oh, slowly getting caffeinated and motivated. Today's stream is very special because I'm going to be doing something really unique. We're going to be, let's see if it works. This is our typewriter camera currently, but there's no typewriter. Instead, we have this line drawing of a rose sitting on backlighting with a piece of paper over it. You might be thinking, what are you going to be doing here, Joe? Well, the plan is to integrate for the first time in my work typewritten poetry onto an existing piece of art. That's right. So this hand-drawn rose by a friend of mine named Leah, line drawing. You can kind of see it. Beautiful line drawing, very delicate, absolutely just gorgeous. Thornless rose is where I've been kind of going with this one. The rose takes up the majority of the page, so the words are going to kind of be scattered around, is going to be the idea. But this is kind of a new chapter, but my plan is to first hand practice on something that I trace. I'm going to be tracing her rose, and then I'm going to be running with, making copies of that, and then just trying several ideas out. But before we do that, we're going to shift over to our screen. I knew I forgot something this morning, and I did indeed. I forgot to set up my phone to be a watchful eye. There we go. All right. So we're going to shift over to our Poet of the Week, Kevin Devaney, as we continue to profile his exclusive collection, and we're going to be highlighting another poem from it that I absolutely love called Moving to NYC. And just give me a quick second while I wait for all this to go. And then we should have it up. There we go. Beautiful. This poem is a wonderful poem because I'm originally from outside New York City, from Long Island, New York. This poem, I feel like, does such a wonderful job at speaking to what the city is, what it does, what it feels like. And I wanted to read this one on the stream today. So from Kevin Devaney, this is Moving to NYC. The city speaks its own hectic language of grotesque beauty and silence. It will never tell you the honest numbers of living and partially dead rodents beneath these streets. It will just smear poison sunset below a silhouetted skyline, like a jaw of a twisted beast just begging you to look in wonder, just daring you to say you belong. That is a pretty vivid image of New York City. And I do love New York City, and I also know that jaw of a twisted beast that it is. Anyway, thank you so much again, Kevin, for letting us share your work on the stream. And let us proceed into creation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a couple minutes tracing out this rose here, and then I am going to take that sheet of paper, make copies of it. I have not created a pause flash screen on this stream. I got to do that, and then we'll be able to keep moving. I ran out of milk and creamer this morning, so my coffee is black. Oh. Leaned on the power button by accident. All right, let's shift over to our typewriter camera. Now again, I am not trying to copy Leah's work at all. It's more that I want to make sure that I have an accurate trace of where the rose is, so that when I go to type, I know where I'm placing words, why I'm placing them, where I'm placing them. I'm trying to make this tracing thick on my paper, because it's got to show up in a copier, because I'm going to make multiple copies of the trace. Ah, you are back with coffee, Twitcher Alex, indeed. I am with the coffee myself. The theme of the day headings that I was putting up weren't really doing much. They did something on one day, but other than that was not really a thing. So I've decided I took them down from the main flash screen. Continuing to try ideas, continuing to kind of figure things out. I actually posted in the Discord, my wife and I are going to be watching a Studio Ghibli movie tonight. And I asked the Movies channel which one would be the best one to start with. So that's exciting. And yeah, I'm awake this morning. That's the difference between yesterday and today. I will be doing a Thanksgiving morning show. Has Akira planned on changing his streaming schedule based on the wonderful holiday of Thanksgiving? I'm curious. I mean, he hasn't let on to the community yet, if he has. Last night's stream was a cool idea. Oh no! So Twitcher Alex says, just not Grave of the Fireflies. Yeah, they were, I saw the Movies channel kind of, or the Voice channel discussing that one. That's one of the sad movies, isn't it? Grave of the Fireflies. I mean, I love sad movies, and sad stories. But, I wouldn't start with that one. Definitely not with that one. Like an all-day Christmas tree, man, that's going to be something. That's going to really be something. And I'm sorry that you hung around and waited. Yeah, no, it just... And actually, this is a real good question for you, because there are some mornings when it's just, I'm up, but I'm not able to get to the stream, and I know that. And I need a tool to be able to like let people know, like, hey, this morning is not, this morning's not happening. Like a button I could hit if something were to be not going well. Not that I'm going to do that on a regular basis, but it's funny because it's almost like, I wish that Streamlabs or like Streamlabs Auto Chat had some sort of feature that you could set it up so that it would ping a message every 15 minutes or something like that. Like, hey, this morning's not happening. But I appreciate you waiting and sorry about that. I googled plot of the grave of the fireflies and just made the call. That's not something I could watch. Way too heavy. Yeah, no, I mean I really like heavy plots. I watched recently. What was heavy plot for me? A Hidden Life, which is about a German who refuses to who serves in actually he's an Austrian who serves in the Austrian army when Germany takes it over and refuses to swear an oath to Hitler and it just basically gets killed. He's considered a martyr for the Catholic faith, and it was a beautiful movie by Terrence Malick. But it was just, basically this degenerative, like it degenerates. Yeah. Ooh, rerun feature on Twitch. You can run a rerun of a previous stream and those that show up will know you're not going live because there's a rerun going. Or you can notify people in Discord about your stream scheduling ahead of time. There's no conflict with Akira's schedule. Maybe. I like the idea of having a rerun set up. Not that that's going to be a regular occurrence. And so we are staring at the tracing of my friend Leah's rose, which is good because now I could put this into the typewriter. So give me a minute while I shift over, turn off my backlight. So the cool thing about this backlight thing is now I can trace most hand-drawn pieces of art to be able to then run them through the typewriter and finally then back onto the piece of art itself, which I'm probably not going to actually running it on the piece of art. But first I have to make a copy of this. I have to make like probably a few copies of this through my printer. No, that didn't work. There we go. Now it's copying. There we go. Copies have been made. Good, good, good. Now let me bring back some music, so at least while I'm working on these things, you have good tunes coming. Yes, we still have 5 days to jump on a call together to make sure we get it to the end of the month. I probably would have time Friday morning, but I can't guarantee that. Actually, no, I wouldn't have time Friday morning. My wife and I are taking a staycation. I'm going to still stream in between, but that's the only thing I'm really going to be doing between Wednesday 2 p.m. and Friday 12 p.m., which will be good because I definitely need it. I built up, I have like an hours tracker because I'm so self-employed and and flexible employed that I got to track all these hours, and I built up a backlog of like 50 or something hours of my own air quote vacation time, though it's not paid vacation time. So it's nice to be able to just kick it. But yeah, we'll get to it. We'll do it. Trying to enjoy coffee at that peak temperature before it gets cold. So let's get the typewriter back under here. There we go. Typewriter time. And there should be the camera angle upwards. Let's see how this is looking. Oh, that's nowhere near where we need it. That's better. So you'll be able to see that I have the rows in here. Now, my theme for this rose, because one of the distinct features of it is that it has no thorns. You can see it, and it's been dethorned, I guess. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to give that a shot. And you see that's why we make copies. Look how close that is. The other title, the real title is going to have to be moved up a little bit. You see already I'm like I mean, I'm kind of going somewhere with this, which is pretty good. you can see here. Good morning, caffeine. So what this would be, is it me or does coffee not taste as good once you reheat it? I mean, I would assume it doesn't. I always just pull it straight from the Keurig, and then I prefer to just drink it as it cools off. Like, for me, it's very much a practical libation. Like, if I'm drinking coffee, like, I honestly have committed to the dirt water. And so as long as it's not too disgusting, I just know that I gotta just drink it. So yeah, it definitely is probably not as good, but neither is cold coffee because I was still trying to get stream together 5 minutes before I started. Or lukewarm, and it's a weird. This stanza here is the one I'm trying to work on here. Might help if I wrote the poem out on the side here, which I think I'm going to do. And I also need to edit this one up here. But we're on to something here. And what we're on to here is, so it's a thornless picture of a rose. Single rose without color. And it's going to be about how things that are thornless do actually have thorns. Like, that's the irony here. Like, all of these metaphors, all these images, you know, Eve, temptation, greenery, which is kind of a symbol for greed, love by any other name. Probably possession is going to work here. Possession is like a hook, but I don't want to use the word hook because thorns on a rose are not hooks. If you're just tuning in, I have a rose that someone has done a line drawing of, and I've done a sketch outside of it, and I'm preparing to typewrite on this rose, but I'm doing some edits before. And then we have this last line here, piercing. And I'm trying to keep it from it being ethereal. Garden, I have not used the word garden yet. Now this is going to be more so, which then goes back to the Eve. All right, so let me write the actual poem here. Whoa. Ooh, I like youth. I like youth better. Ooh, greenery hides my shadow. I think we might actually be able to bottle this up today. I was thinking I wanted to sit on it. Oh, I'm actually getting some tingles here. Good morning. We're doing a poetic artistic combination. David, we have a rose that was that was line drawn by a Winchester artist, and I've had this thing probably for several months now. It's actually pretty terrible that I didn't do this earlier, and I am working on sketching a poem around it. And right now I'm kind of writing out the poem. I kind of used the picture to brainstorm. And it may or may not get done today, and part of the reason why it may not get done is because I want to make sure this really it sticks, because this is not something where I could write a poem and go, oh, I could revise it again. Once this goes onto the line drawing, that's it. I mean, she could do another line drawing, but it would just be a pain in the butt for everybody. Yesterday we did not stream. That's wonderful, man. That made me burst out laughing. It's like a cool. So I've been kind of doing a little bit of a dark take on it, honestly, which I love. So we can have our poem here. I'm gonna bring this audio down a little bit. And I can't think of the end lines for this, so piercing. So I'll just read and I'll see if something comes to my head. And the title of the poem is Thornless. Because the rose, that's one of the most distinctive features of her line drawing, is she did not include thorns in her line drawing. Thornless. Pricks eyes with hope. Clutches attention in the bloom. Love by any other name possesses my garden of youth. Greenery hides my shadow, an even forest of fruit. Temptation to her beauty. Piercing, something with petals. I'm looking up a word. All right, let's try that. Rose beds follow. Follow being the word to describe an uncultivated field. Rose beds where roses would grow. And believe it or not, the petal image has disappeared. I feel like what I did here, which was really good, is I've been working on trying to stay more concrete and eliminate a lot of my ethereal words. So I'm thinking either the hope here I could do her petals, but that sounds a little trite to kind of throw the word petals in there. Pricks eyes with hope is it draws people in, and I think that comparing that, are you David? You said I like that approach. Are you talking about the rose beds follow? I think that works really well. Because it's almost like they're also less ethereal. Yes, absolutely. and that practice has been helping me a lot. But here I'm just trying to figure out how I would enumerate that, because I want to, there's something inside of me that really wants to bring the word petals into this, because the petals are just so dynamic on this. Like, look at this picture. Like, this is insane. Like, these petals are perfect. She captured it. And they envelope and they center around a core. There's so many ways you could take this. Bloom and youth rhyme. I didn't even do that on purpose. Yeah. We have something here. This is a good start, is the words I'm going to use to describe this. And I'll read it again, the way that it sits. And show a picture of the rose while I do. Thornless. Pricks eyes with hope. Clutches attention in the bloom. Love by any other name possesses my garden of youth. Greenery hides my shadow, even forest of fruit. Temptation to her beauty, piercing rosebuds follow. Yeah, I changed up the rhyme scheme there. Which I didn't even do on purpose. Because it's X with X being anything, it's an XA, B, XXB. So it's a weird change on the rhyme scheme. Well, I definitely got something here. And it's really good because now I can do kind of a second part to it. And then I have copies of my line drawing, and so I'll just kind of work that. Now, for my final trick. No, this. I just want to make sure it's not. I wonder if I'm. Oh, that'll do it. Okay, so webcam. Let's stretch this out a little bit. A little weird black bar at the bottom of the screen. Okay, there we go. Better. So I think that's going to be it for today. I really like where this took me. I like that this project has new potential in it. Funny thing is I've got to finish some of my other projects because some of my other projects are they're taking up my projects folder. And I'm planning on just taking one of my binders today and making it into the, finally starting to compile my COVID collection, which is going to be a combination of printouts / everything. So I got to do that. And that's going to be a good thing for me to work on. And I might even make that a stream on its own. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We will be here on Thanksgiving in the morning. Thank you so much, again, everybody, for tuning in. Wednesday Chess says, I love these ideas. Let it come to you. That's great. And thank you. I appreciate it. Always trying to push the boundaries. What do you got to do when you're waking up every morning doing it? Is you got to think of something else. And I really appreciate you coming in to check it out and to see it. And that's my hope, is just to continue being able to push things just a little bit and be able to create a little more and dive in here and pull here and push here. And if this works out, I hope that she would forgive me for having taken 3 months. If this works out and we can sell this as a combined piece of art, then her and I can start doing more projects together. And we could even potentially create an entire book of projects. Everything can be just... And that's the great thing, is the only thing that we're missing is time. And that's something I've been thinking about too, is how am I allocating my time? Am I putting my time to my projects that are going to really bear fruit? Or am I filling dishwashers? You know, like I obviously everybody needs to fill their dishwasher and get their dishes washed, but like it's one of those things that you want to make sure that it's that you're beautifying and slowly changing and allocating time. And I recently wrote up a nice plan of how I'm going to start refocusing my time onto more of these collaborative projects, but continue to progress. And yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well as well. But the sky's the limit. And like if I'm doing this well, and frankly I waste as much time as I do sometimes during the week, things like that. If this is how well I'm doing with all that, imagine if I make things just a little better here and there. But I'm really happy with everything that's happening, and I'm very thankful as we head into Thanksgiving. This Thanksgiving, I will not be spending it with my family. I'll be with my wife and my dog, but we will not be in New York, and I miss them. But it's for the healthier, for the better, because of the pandemic. And yeah, we'll be able to create here on the stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then in the morning, and then after that, my wife and I are gonna hang out. We'll probably watch the virtual parade and enjoy ourselves. So, thank you very much all for tuning in, and you have a wonderful day.